Hello and welcome to SCAN's Community Connection. I'm your host, Tom Hayes. My job is Director of Customer and Community Relations for New Jersey Natural Gas. Now it is my real pleasure and distinct honor to be the host of SCAN's Community Connections, where we really get to talk to some wonderful folks doing great work in the community. And today is no exception, as we have Cliff Baker, who is the founder of a Need We Feed organization. So Cliff, welcome to SCAN.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me today. It's a privilege and an honor. I'm flattered.
Absolutely, that's great. Now, can you tell us a little bit about like a Need We Feed and when it was created and why?
It was created after Hurricane Sandy. It was a way for me to pay it forward to our first responders who were here helping us restore the shore. I myself served in the United States Navy from 1986 to 1992. I stumbled across a couple newbies, we call them, fresh kids right in the service at one of the restaurants I serviced called Boston's. They were here helping us restore the shore, but you could tell they felt out of place. That was something that happens to us in the military. We never really feel like we're at home anywhere. We're always on the move. So I started a conversation with the kids to kind of break the ice, make them feel comfortable. Welcome to New Jersey. Doing here. Thanksgiving's a couple weeks away. What do you guys have planned? I said, nothing. We're from Kentucky. We have nowhere to go. Our family's not here. And that was when I said, you know what, this is my moment to pay it forward for those who helped me so long ago. I said, you know what you guys do now? I said, I'm going to open my home, open my house to you and all the first responders here helping us restore the shore as a thank you for what you're doing, for your commitment to us. They said, Cliff, that's great, but there's 350 of us over here. I was like, I was speechless. I'm like, what happened? So, right away I left the restaurant, and the thoughts were going through my mind. The first person I knew I had to call was Chef Mike from Atlantic Bar and Grill. He's been a friend of mine for 25 years. I said, if anyone could help me out in this situation, it was him. So I called Mike. I said, Mike, I just committed to feed 350 people. What are we going to do? And in fashion, we got this. That was his answer. We got this. We'll put it together. We'll make it happen. We got tons of volunteers, chefs, food. We had over 50 turkeys donated, mashed potatoes. All the manufacturers I dealt with gave us all kinds of supplies. We had a buffet set up in my garage. We had prepping the food. We had tables and chairs in the backyard. We were all ready to go. Mike gives a rundown to the volunteers. Here's how we're going to handle it. We're going to do 3 seatings of 100. Get them in, get them fed, get the next batch in. Right when we were about to open up and let everybody in, the first responder called and said he wasn't allowed to cross the Seaside Bridge. They were having some issues with looting and rioting, so they closed the bridge, no access back and forth. Fortunately for us, just by chance, one of our volunteers worked for the Toms River Fire Department. He said, Cliff, I can get us a hook and ladder fire truck. So he went down to the firehouse by Capone's, grabbed a fire truck, a hook and ladder fire truck, brought it into our cul-de-sac, took up the whole street. We took all the volunteers, told them all, package up all the food into individual meals, loaded them onto the fire truck, and the fire truck was able to cross the Seaside Bridge because they were considered a first respond vehicle. So they were able to cross in the Seaside. They found all the pockets of first responders, and we were the first ones to bring a hot meal to the first responders. And that's how we started our delivery and our organization, A Need We Feed.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, I am glad that your first call wasn't to your wife. That would have been tough. Hey, hon, I got a little request for Thanksgiving, 350 people. That's amazing. That's an amazing story. And I know that about that bridge too, because again, I work for the gas company.
Right.
Similar, we had have our first responders get over there, and I was involved with an effort to get space heaters to folks over on the other side of the bridge. And we had to get special permission to get the big truck of space heaters over there and all that sort of thing. So I know that almost sent a shiver up my spine hearing about that bridge again. That's right. That was tough.
Yeah, you things you never thought about, different obstacles, but we found a way.
That's beautiful.
We always find a way.
That's a beautiful story.
Thank you. So that's how we got started.
That's great. So now what changed when you ran into the whole COVID pandemic? How did this work with your organization?
So since Hurricane Sandy to COVID, we would asked the restaurants for donations because we were doing Thanksgiving, we did Christmas, we created Easter, and we created a 4th of July barbecue. We found out that we started delivering to some of our stressed veterans. There was actually a story in December of 2015. My son was making a delivery to one of the hotel rooms, and he had his meal, knocked on the door. A veteran answered, and my son goes, "Merry Christmas. This is on a need we feed. Have a Merry Christmas." The veteran literally had his gun loaded and was ready to commit suicide. He hadn't seen anyone in nearly a year. He was getting depressed, isolated. My son and his friend stayed with this veteran for half an hour and had Christmas dinner in the hotel room with the veteran. My son comes back, tells me the story. I'm like, there's no way we can wait until next Thanksgiving to see this veteran again. He needs to know he's not forgotten, that we're thinking about him. We're going to come back. We said, everything's on donation. Easter's a couple months away. That'll give us enough time to get everything donated again. I mean, we're talking close to 100 turkeys, 800 pounds of mashed potatoes. We were making enough food for 1,500 people. So it's a lot of supply. So these restaurants have the biggest heart. They'll give us anything, right? So this is what they were doing since Hurricane Sandy. COVID hits, and literally like a light switch, it just shuts us off, shuts us down. They go into panic mode. They are like ready to their careers. My livelihood for 25 years was just about to end, just like that. I said, we have to do something. So In Need We Feed started raising money to purchase meals from these struggling restaurants. Purchase the meals, supplying to those in need. So within a couple weeks, we started, we partnered with some other organizations like the American Legion, the Salvation Army, Just Believe, Tom's River Senior Center. We found all these pockets of organizations that had clients who were in need. So before you know it, we were purchasing 1,200 meals a week, $8 a meal. We raised through COVID over $300,000 and 27,000 meals from these struggling restaurants that then were fed to those in need. It was a beautiful win-win. Saved the industry that's been supporting me forever. It was our opportunity to give back to them, give them a lifeline, keep them running, and take care of those in need. That's what happened during 2020, during COVID. Then at the start of 2021, there was a grant issued from New Jersey called Sustain and Serve New Jersey. It almost felt like it was created for us. The grant was for organizations that were purchasing meals from restaurants. This is like a customized grant for us.
Right.
We were issued $195,000. So
wow, that's great.
Yeah, we used that at $10 a meal to continue our mission. So it's, COVID almost ruined us, but, we did what we could. We did what we had to do to survive, take care of our local industry, take care of our local businesses, and take care of those in need.
That's amazing. So that grant really affected your mission to really be able to do even more, right?
Exactly.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, we find that these disasters often bring out the best in people, but that was such a, like you said, a win-win, because you're helping these struggling restaurants that might have closed otherwise, right? And they're doing what they need to do, but and then folks that are out there that need a meal are getting a really nice meal from a restaurant that, it's not like something I would have thrown together, which would have been terrible. You get really good food, right? So really
exactly. That became our focus. We wanted to offer a unique opportunity. We made sure we had a nutritious, well-balanced meal. So we structured our meal to have 4 ounces of protein, 4 ounces of starch, and 4 ounces of vegetable. A lot of these people we were delivering to weren't getting nutritious meals, and a lot of them don't have their own appliances or facility to make a meal. We wanted to make sure they were getting everything that they needed to make sure they at least got one healthy meal. And what's been great is that, we started getting phone calls from these people we were delivering meals to, and how much they look forward to it, what a blessing it was. we have this great senior couple who's been married like 55 years. And they call us, they said, we haven't been out of the house in so long. We get this nice restaurant quality meal. You make us feel like we're out at a restaurant again. Like it's amazing how much a meal can affect someone, a healthy meal.
Absolutely. It's great in so many ways. But again, the whole win-win concept is just beautiful. And it must make you feel good when you put your head down on the pillow at night that you really helped start something fantastic for, again, not only our military, but how it blossomed into really helping everybody, right? I mean, that's amazing.
It's very humbling. It's very humbling. It's satisfying and sad in the same. And we're just talking about Ocean County, a little bit into Monmouth, but mostly Ocean County. How many neighbors really need help?
Yeah, I agree. And, it's interesting, though, a meal is critical in so many ways, but I think most of us, we enjoy eating. I know I will speak for myself, so it's not only just getting something, but you're getting a meal. Like that means so much. And then, if you're getting a meal on a regular basis that, you can count on this meal coming through and all, that just means a lot. That takes a lot of stress off people's lives where they can maybe focus on some other things, like maybe getting better from COVID or maybe looking for other help or maybe getting back on their feet or finding a job, whatever it might be. It takes that off the table, which is huge because it's most important that we're eating something, and eating healthy to boot is fantastic. And it's tasty and you enjoy it. That's even better. So once that's off your plate, you don't have to worry about that. You can focus on so many other things. So it's really
very true
that you guys have really put that forth for so many individuals. That's really great.
Thank you.
Now with this huge growth, now going on, how have you been able to manage all this?
Oh, you need an army. You need a huge team. And we have been fortunate enough to have so many people join our team. From staff we have now, Patty Trustin, formerly of Big Brothers Big Sisters, is now our director of development. We have Amy McKeon, who's our volunteer coordinator, which is huge. Volunteers are critical. We have she's put together an amazing a group of volunteers who will donate their time for everything from picking up to delivering meals. It takes a lot of work, a lot of coordination, and we're very blessed to have an amazing team.
That's great.
Committed and passionate. You have to believe in it. You can't fake it. You have to believe in it.
Absolutely. Now, which is great. So as we close here, I just want to see, is there a website that folks, if they wanted to get involved, donate, and involve some other way, is there a website that folks can go to?
Absolutely. Please go to aneedwefeed.org.
Perfect. That's great. Well, Cliff, really pleasure meeting you. Congratulations on doing a tremendous thing. And I love that you have your family involved in all that. I always think that's really important as well. So
yes,
all the good stuff you do for the community. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. Thank you for the time today.
Absolutely. Okay.
Have a good day.
Viewers, we're going to be going into a little commercial break. So come on back to Community Connections afterwards. And for now, Cliff, again, thank you for your time.
At the Save Green Project from New Jersey Natural Gas, we're bringing you rebates and incentives, including 0% APR financing, right on your natural gas bill to help make energy efficiency affordable. And with the possibility of no upfront costs and special incentives for moderate income customers, investing in equipment upgrades doesn't have to be out of reach. Go to SaveGreenProject.com for details on available rebates and incentives to help you upgrade to energy-efficient HVAC and water heating equipment. You could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in incentives for seal-up and insulation fixes. In the long run, you could be saving money on your energy bills too. Visit us at SaveGreenProject.com. That's SaveGreenProject.com.
Hello and welcome back to SCAN's Community Connection. I'm your host, Tom Hayes, and I have two wonderful guests with us for the second segment of this show. These lovely ladies are coming from the Seeds of Service organization, and they are Ruth Murphy and Sheri Gleason, and they're both outreach managers for the organization. So welcome, ladies.
Hello. Thank you. Hello.
Great. It's great to have you both. So, I'm sure as I'm anxious, as so are our listeners, what is the Seeds of Service program and what's your role there?
Well, we're, like I said, we are outreach managers, so we are the first people that our families or donors or whoever it may be meet with and answer on the phones with and all that.
That's great. Very good. And like, can you describe some of the programs and services offered by Seats of Service?
The current programs right now, our main one is the Open Choice Pantry, where people get to come in and pick out their own items, which is very helpful. It leaves them their dignity and obviously getting things that they need and things that they don't want, they don't need to have to take. We do work with the National Council of Aging, which is NCOA. It is a program for 55 and older individuals who can join our team and or other places that they get placed through NCOA with us. So it's a program that helps them get back into the workforce.
Nice.
SLE is another program, as student learning education. It's for children, at-risk children with learning disabilities or special needs. They also come to our location and get the feel for working and working with people. And it's just a wonderful place that they can call home as a second,
They get bused through the school there for each session, first period, second period, whatever it may be, and they get credits towards their high school graduation for coming to our location to get their work experience.
That's excellent. That's great. I mean, those are some amazing services. And the one you mentioned for seniors is obviously most important to me at the moment, only because we're talking through SCAN, which is the Senior Citizens Activity.
Right.
So, those folks are near and dear to our hearts as well as everybody.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, part of our programs, we work with the Brick Senior Services because they also, with the seniors that they work with, we work with placing their food orders and they pick it up. They actually come with their buses, pick up the people we've booked for the day, and then they deliver it to them. So we're very close with the seniors, especially since pandemic as well.
No, that's great. That's wonderful. What a great program to have out in the community. And I love the idea of the high school students being able to come and help out and get credit and all that. That's
wonderful.
And they enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Good experience for them to, see what people experience and, maybe they may be experiencing it as well. And, it's great for them to help them grow as well.
Yeah, I think at some point we may want to have another conversation with the folks at SCAN as well and see if there aren't some programs we can't work on together.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Sounds great.
That's excellent. So how many households did your organization serve during, either pre-COVID and then when COVID happened?
Pre-COVID, we were probably like 400 to 500 families. And then once COVID hit, then a lot of that, you couldn't get out. They were maybe afraid to get out. So that doubled nearly. We were up to 1,200 families during the pandemic. And, that was strictly in the beginning delivering. We went to the community and got our volunteer community out there, and they were delivering to Whiting. They were delivering to down south. They were, we just had a very large variety of volunteers delivering the food. And then, we transitioned after, time, and, now we're back to our open choice pantry, of course, thankfully. But,
prior to that, we did adapt with the drive-through, once, our volunteers, which was a great asset to our community, helping out with the deliveries, as Sheri was saying. But then when it got back to some normalcy where people went back to work, school, we then switched over to outside drive-through pickups, for our families, and still work with, certain people that require deliveries along with our senior services, as we discussed. We did adapt with Ocean County Health Department as well. Toms River used to have a senior service and they no longer did. But during the pandemic, that's hence where a lot of our people in Whiting and down Forked River had come from, because we worked with them as well.
Right.
Amazing. And, we talked a little bit before we got started. Your organization really started was it out of Sandy or just?
Yes, it came from Sandy. That's how we became. We emerged from there. started in the church in the basement, and then, moved into the building. And, a lot of the core people that are there started there too, and lost their homes as well during it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've had a kind of, the pandemic was just the next phase of what you'd already started since Sandy.
The crisis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I will tell our viewers that I was at their facility back after Sandy when the gas company was donating items, and, everybody's trying to help and bring in all kinds of stuff. And I remember meeting these two lovely young ladies that were just so wonderful and friendly. And I swear it was both Ruth and Sheri. I'm sure it had to be.
It probably was. Well, we've both been there, so.
But you were only 10 years old back then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But really, I mean, again, a great organization, but it just shows you that, you were born out of a drastic need at that time, and that you were able to continue to do that work. And then
Yes.
it was because you were set when COVID hit, you were already there and ready to go. And,
Yeah.
which is great. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, we adapted quickly. We knew the need was still there. Our phones never shut off. So me and Ruth were, granted we were not in the building working, but right away we were on the phones, with like Ruth had said, with the Ocean County Health Department. We got, in a way I'd say we got slammed with the calls and the stress of how we're going to do it. But, we did it. We did it. And
because it definitely increased our family size, new registrations, people who've never heard of us, who never needed us before.
Right.
So again, just like Sandy, things, when things occur like that, they have to reach out for that help. And so with the fact that we have such a nice close knit, team that we work with, and the warmth that they feel, we've always been getting compliments on people feeling comfortable enough, because that's a hard sometimes step for people to take. So
yeah, it's really tough.
Very welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So many people got affected by COVID that just never needed these kinds of services before.
Right.
Really was Sandy too, right? Those
Right.
Exactly. No.
Yeah.
Just so you were used to dealing with folks that never had to ask for things before.
Right. You handle them with care. Yeah.
Yeah, that is great. So, how is your organization, Seeds of Service, adapted to meet the need for services like during the pandemic? You talked about a little bit about that, but
a little bit we touched upon. One of the other things that we did have, and we still currently brought back, is our mobile unit for SNAP benefits and Medicaid and taxes. We have that on site in our parking lot, because prior to, we used to have partner desks inside our building where we'd allow certain people, partnerships, to come in and then help our community out with their specialties. And so one of the things we adapted was with having the mobile unit on site in the parking lot, and still being able to help our families out with those needs, along with the adapting, like we discussed about the drive-through. And then we also had what we called our family needs requests. So if people need items, whether it be clothing, furniture, depending on what their needs and what's going on in their lifestyles, we have adapted to that as well by, again, as Sheri was saying, right now we're remotely for the most part, but we still are handling their needs in the best way we can. So we work with the team on what they might be requesting, and we gather it and we have it ready for them for their drive-through pickup, or now that they've just adapted to open choice again, coming back inside, they can be able to pick out certain things themselves as well. So
that's great. Now, I don't know, have you ever worked with, I'm just, again, put my gas company hat on, but with folks from the gas company for energy assistance programs and things like that?
Oh.
I have. We work with New Jersey Shares, so I've done events with you at the church basement. They've had the events, and so we do partner with New Jersey Shares. So even through the pandemic, we were still processing the New Jersey Shares applications as best we could. Some people don't have internet access, so it was hard for them to scan the information to us. So we'd have to set up a meeting somewhere. But we did do that as well.
Great. I always like to make sure people are aware that those programs are out there. And
absolutely, that's what it's all about. Yeah, with us, with the resources, you know,
Mhm.
that and utility assistance. We don't do the applications, you know, for that, but we guide them in the direction of helping them to, you know, a better ways to save money.
Right, absolutely. And our, our website, njng.com, like to throw it out there, we're talking about it. You get all that kind of information, as well as obviously if they're meeting with folks like you, but that's because every bit is part of the package to get people back to
Yes. Yep.
being whole again, right?
Yeah, that's one of our new programs that we'll be implementing too, is Operation Evo to assist. You know, obviously, through this pandemic, people, whether they couldn't be evicted, and you know their rents piling up, so now they're faced with the possible homelessness, and that's the issue. So this is a way of helping people budget and get on track, so they can make the back payments that they're owed on for their rent or their mortgage.
Yeah, and that's been a tough thing, right? Because it's not it's not like people were like told you don't have to pay; you just didn't have to pay at that moment.
Right.
Those bills are racking up, so some people tried to keep up with that as best they could, and then if you didn't, it really made it really difficult. So, so that's going to be tricky. And I know our moratorium has been moved to January, so that giving people more time to start saving up and start catching their bills.
Yes, hopefully that's why we want to get that program up and going. This way we could help people do that, because that's the last thing we want is another a giant wave of more homeless people.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just have a couple seconds left. So what are the greatest unmet needs in the community, would you say, at this time?
I mean, financial is of a concern, and that seems to be the case. And evictions, as Sheri was saying, because landlords and people are selling their homes, because of what has happened. So with that, people that were renting out of this home now have to find a place to live, and a huge concern. Obviously, I think a major priority of people's worries. Besides,
and then once the stimulus and extra food stamp payments, and I know we will see an increase in our families as well.
Yes.
Right.
Again,
now, if people need to reach out to you to get information, or if they want to donate or volunteer, whatever it might be, what is the website that they can reach you at?
That would be www.seedsofservice.help.
Okay. Yes, or they can call or text our main number. They can do both at 732-746-3456.
Okay, great. Well, Sheri and Ruth, a pleasure meeting you. Lots in all you do with Seeds of Service. And to our viewers, thanks for watching.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Yes, it was.
Very good.
Okay.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.